Do you know that I've never had a woman come into my office and say she was worried about what retirement would do to her marriage? But I've had plenty of them sit down across from me 6 months or a year later and want to talk about nothing else. And there's always this moment of equal parts relief and disbelief. Relief because they're finally talking about it, and disbelief that being retired would actually bring up problems in their relationship. I'm Dr. Connie. I've been a psychotherapist for over 40 years, and that moment right there, that's what we're talking about today. And I'm going to give you a way to understand what's happening and also a way to get through it. And while I'll be speaking mostly from the experience I know best, a woman and her husband, if your partnership looks different than that, please know that this conversation is for you too, because the dynamics we're going to talk about today show up across all kinds of relationships. Now, before we dive in, I want to let you know that at the end of this video, I have a surprise gift for you. Something you can use right away to help you and your partner understand each other a little bit better during this transition. So stay with me all the way to the end. So let's start with something that might make you smile or maybe wince a little bit. He's finally retired. You love him, but suddenly your husband is an expert on the dishwasher. It's like he's got a master's degree on how dishes should be properly organized. And it's not just the dishwasher. Maybe it's the way you've been folding towels for 30 years, or the way you make those mashed potatoes. Things that were never his domain, things that worked perfectly well without his input, suddenly have room for improvement. And for you, it's frustrating because this is your space, your rhythm, your way of doing things, and it's always worked. You've been running this household for decades without a consultant. And I'd love to know, does any of this sound familiar to you? If so, let me know in the comments below. Let's talk about it. So here's what's important for you to understand about this particular situation. And I say this as a generality, but I found it to be true in most cases. Your husband has spent decades being good at something. Maybe he had a title, maybe he didn't, but he certainly had some kind of authority. People listened when he spoke, and all of that gave him a sense of self-worth. And then one day, that was gone. But what he didn't retire was his need to be an authority on something, so it lands on you because you are the closest person to him. And here's another fly in the ointment that nobody warned you about in the retirement brochure. You're together 24/7, every morning, every meal, maybe even every errand. And you're not used to that. There used to be a natural rhythm. He left, you exhaled, or you both left in the morning and you came back together at the end of the day and reconnected. Now there's no break. No exhale, no reset button. And if you've not only retired, but relocated, wow, all of the stress gets even more pronounced. Because relocation means that the two of you just didn't retire. You also gave up everything familiar at the same time. The neighbors, the routines, the community, the people and places that knew you. And building all of that back takes time, sometimes years. So he may not have found his golf buddy yet, or a neighbor he feels he can talk to. So you become his everything. That's why 24/7 can sometimes feel daunting and smothering. But let's not forget this very important piece of why it can feel that way. Women, in general, find it much easier to build connection. We're talkers. And we've had lots of phone calls and 3-hour lunches with our girlfriends. And this gives us the depth we need in relationships. Men, on the other hand, aren't wired that way. Not because they can't go deep, but because most of them were never taught to be interested in depth. Men do things together. They golf, they watch the game, maybe they talk about cars. But rarely do they sit across from each other and say, I'm lost and I don't know who I am anymore. So when it comes to any kind of intimate connection for your husband, you're it. I'm reminded of something I heard years ago that I've never forgotten, and it's this. A woman's best friend is a woman And a man's best friend is a woman. So if you start to feel a little closed in, it's important to remember that you are his safe place. And I'd love to hear from you. If there are stressors I haven't mentioned today that you've experienced yourself, feel free to add them in the comments below, because retirement brings up so much more than what we've covered today. And I'll be talking about more of it in future videos. So let's start with what we have and talk about what to do about it. Now, don't get me wrong. Retirement is a wonderful thing, but it does change many things. One of them being that suddenly two people who've loved each other for decades find themselves asking questions they may never have asked before. Who are we now without the roles we played for so many years? What do you want now? What do I want now? And are we even on the same page? Because believe it or not, couples find out later rather than sooner that many times they're not. But here's the good news. Those questions, as uncomfortable as they might feel, are actually an invitation. An invitation to finally get to know each other in a way that got buried under careers and children and the busyness of life. But here's the thing about that. Good conversations require the right questions. And here's what I've learned in over 40 years of couples counseling. Asking questions is necessary and important, because the right question invites your partner in rather than shutting them out. It says, I want to understand you. And it tells your partner that you're curious about them, not angry with them, not judging them, just genuinely curious. And that changes everything about how they're going to respond. For example, here's a question you could start with. What has surprised you most about retiring that you weren't expecting? And the answer could be negative or positive or both. That one question alone can open up a conversation you've never had before. And it's this kind of conversation that can help you understand and feel closer to each other. So I've put together a free PDF for you. 10 questions worth asking, a guide for couples in retirement. 10 questions that start small and go deeper. And the link is in the description below. That's my gift to you today. But before you go and look, here's the most important thing I want you to know. The tricky part is not the questions themselves. It's the way you react to the answer. So before you ask a single question, your job is to listen. Try not to react out of defensiveness. Try not to prepare your response while your partner is still talking. Try not to be right. Just listen and accept how your partner feels. Because these questions are designed to help you become each other's best friend. And there are 2 things worth remembering. First, this is a person you're probably going to spend the rest of your life with. Now that the careers are over and the children are grown, there's nothing more important than the 2 of you. Your children and grandchildren will come and visit and be gone. So now it's time to make each other the most important person in your life. And second, none of us are here to make someone else happy. Happiness is our own responsibility, but we are here to add to our partner's happiness, to understand what makes them happy, what makes them tick, what are they missing from you, what are you missing from them. And if you can ask those questions from a place of genuinely wanting to understand each other, you will see your love and trust grow in ways you never imagined. And here's what I find most beautiful. Retirement and relocation don't just test a marriage. They actually give it something it may never have had before. Time and space, and the chance to finally know each other on a whole new level. So don't forget to download your free PDF in the description below. Share this video with someone who needs it today. And I think you should continue and watch this playlist next, because I think you're really going to find it helpful. And thank you so much for subscribing and commenting. I'll see you in the next video, and I really appreciate you watching.